Good morning, everyone. How are y'all this morning? As you can see, we're actually live on location out here at the Hickory shop out here. We have some, I guess you can say construction, or we have some, they're doing some roofing at the office there at home. And so it was going to be a little loud for us to hear. But today we're here to do the Google My Business panel. And I have two special guests. I'll get both special guests with us today, 'cause, you know. But I have Miss Abby and Miss Bailey.
Hello.
So with this, they do predominantly our Call 5, which is Google My Business, and they're going to give us a lot more insight about Google and the Call 5. I will be the moderator today, so I'll ask questions or give my little 2 cents in where needed, I guess, but we'll let y'all take it from here.
Abby, do you want to talk about the current Call 5 and like what it kind of looks like, what dealers get access to it, stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever we go through your calls, if you don't have Google set up already, we will go and walk you through how to set up your Google My Business in Call 5. Call 5 is probably one of our more simple calls. Can take anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, just depending on what we're doing. If you already do have your Google set up for your business, then we basically just walk you through our 3 tips and tricks over that and make sure you know how to find it and how to update things just to stay active on there. But most of the time, we're helping you actually set up your Google My Business, and we're walking you through the steps. You share your screen, and we're walking you through how to set it up.
Yep. So that'll transition us really well into, we have 3 videos for you guys today. The first 2 are really short, and they're essentially Call 5. So this first one that we're going to look at, we're going to show you kind of how to figure out if you already have one set up, or if you do have one set up, or if you don't have set up, how to set that up. So it's just really super short. We do want to get through these first 2 videos, but then the main point that we want to talk to you guys about during this panel is actually troubleshooting your Google My Business, because we've just seen a lot of dealers run into that recently. So
yeah, and sidebar, with the closing call, now that we'll do the next closing calls with me, where we have the dealers that conversate, take notes, or if you have any problems to troubleshoot after this, we are now going to be going over the same content that we go over on the panel with those closing calls to bring more support on these, other than actually being able to physically hear your not complaints, or issues that you may have, and try to help you real time on that as well, and see what other dealers do from there.
Yep. So bear with us. If you've done a Call 5, these first 2 videos are going to be very much a recap. If you have a Google My Business account, these are also going to be very much a recap, but we just want to make sure we get everybody caught up to speed before we really get into the issues that we've been seeing with Google My Business recently.
Okay, this is for dealers who are setting up a Google My Business for the first time, or if they have a secondary location at a different address. This would be how you would want to quickly set up another Google My Business profile. If you already have one, you log into Google here. So I'm logged into my account. And then if you click these 9 dots, it'll be right here or right here. But regardless, it should be at the top. You click on that, it'll show all your listings so far, and then you just hit add business and add single business, and it'll open you up to this page. If you do not have that pass, so if you don't already have a Google My Business account set up, you just go to Google and type in Google My Business, and then you're looking for a link that's business.google.com. You would hit start now, and it's going to take you to that same page. From here, you're going to follow the prompts. So you want to type in Stor-Mor portable buildings, something like that. If one already exists, it's going to show up like this. So hypothetically, this was the one I wanted to claim, but somebody else has set this up. You would want to hit manage now, or I own this business, and start the process of claiming that business. But let's say this is what I want to set it up. And then the business category we recommend is shed builder. Then you would, yes, want to add a location because you want to show up on maps. You would type in your address. If there's another one, it's going to match here. You would hit this doesn't match if it's a new business. This would not be something you want to do if you are going to run like a carport business and a portable building business out of the same address. So then you would just want it all to be one. We get into that in a minute. We'd hit next. You want to hit yes. And again, this is so that you can be on the map, but then also do service areas. You're gonna hit next. And so these are some service areas that you want to. There is a limited amount to this, but it's not super, restrictive. We don't recommend doing a full state. So don't do like the entire state of Texas, or in like my sense, the entire state of Kentucky. But you can do counties. So do cities or counties. So we'll just do Mayfield. If you do run out of these options, take out the town that is in your address, because that'll automatically show up. This is going to help you appear when somebody is not in your town of your address, but they are, searching portable buildings near me. The algorithm knows that they are a county over, but that you can still service their area. So type in as many as you want there. Go ahead and do a phone number and website here. So I'm going to do this one. This is where you should put your e-commerce site if you don't already have it. You're going to hit next. Then it's going to ask you to be verified. Based on that phone number, it might allow you to get verified via that phone number. If it does allow you to do that, go ahead and select get verified. It'll text you or it'll call a code to you that you can type in to verify. However, do not be surprised if, a couple days later, it says that you are no longer verified and you now have to submit this business video. This business video is the new way that Google is requiring businesses to get verified. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of it's a long video, and then it's a pretty long verification process because somebody from Google is manually reviewing this. We're seeing a lot of dealers run into issues. We'll talk about that in the Q&A section of this, but just know that this business video, once you can get verified, is the best way to get verified, because then as spammers or bots or anything starts to report you, or if another business comes alongside and tries to claim your business, like this video is really going to protect you to keep and maintain ownership of your Google My Business. You can hit more options. You can see right there, it says verify later. If you're setting this up and you're not currently at your lot, go ahead and hit verify later. But if you are at your lot, you have a phone, whatever, some or a tablet, something that you can record mobilely, you can go ahead and do that if you have about 15 minutes on your lot. We'll get into this a little bit later. We're gonna hit verify later. And then this is where you can skip through all these and hit next. Let's say that you've gone ahead and either skipped through all those or you filled it out as you went and you hit like next. This is what your Google My Business profile looks like. You're going to go to edit profile, and this is everything that you just either skipped through or walked through. Just make sure you fill it all out. Again, up here now on categories, you can add multiple categories. So there's a primary category. We recommend that be shed builder. That's just where your other competitors are going to be sitting out and hanging out at. You can add another category and add this portable building manufacturer. And then also if you sell carports or trailers or, like any other outdoor supply, you can add more categories and you can add those there as well. The description, this is looking for a lot of keywords. Use ChatGPT or any other AI service. You have 750 characters, so try to use as many as possible and really be keyword heavy. Then as you go down, you're going to see website and social media platforms. Definitely fill out all of those as you can. Again, the website is a really good place to put your e-commerce site. Most people don't have these short names anymore. This is an old account, so it's still, it had it at that time. You want to make sure your map location is correct. If it's not, I'll show you a way to verify your map marker. And then for service area, this is where you want to fill out as many as possible, but not do states. Do like counties or cities in your area. And then make sure your hours and your special hours are up to date, because those are going to be super visible to customers online. Everything below here is kind of like the cherry on top of the sundae. So just extra, if you can fill it out and put in more information, that's awesome. But really everything from hours up is what Google's really going to use to match you with a customer.
Video. All right, we're back. So that's how to set up a Google My Business. That is essentially what they go through in call fives. It is simple to set up on there. It gives you the correct prompts to follow, and it shows you how to do that. Do y'all like to add to that?
if you were showing me a video on TikTok the other day.
Yeah, so
Some influencers might be calling this claiming
yes.
your business, but really it is a setup.
So I know a lot of us also follow, probably it's the shed professionals on Facebook. They had they shared a reel, and I think it was on TikTok, but they had a guy on there talking about it too, about how to, like she said, claim your business, to where a lot of your shed dealers now are stepping heavily in this realm of that Google My Business, and we are starting to see more of outside of Stor-Mor start talking about this stuff that we've been doing for a long time. And I just think it's funny how it's all catching on, and we're still trying to bring you the best possible abilities to do that coming in the future.
And we do try to tailor all of our calls to an organic, you don't have to spend money with this. So that is why we've done Google My Business. There's obviously other Google products. Even within Google My Business, you can pay for things. We don't necessarily go into that. Like, we just want you guys to be visible. You were saying the other day how often you use Google My Business. So
anytime I go to a new town, or even my local hometown, I may forget of something, and if you can't tell by looking at me, I like to eat. But I will always Google food near me to see if there's any new choices, and then we're going to talk about this in some other videos. If it's not somewhere I'm from, after I find what's close to me, what sounds good, the next thing I go to is reviews, which we'll get into that too. And it's all at the touch of your fingertips from your phone. It takes 15 seconds now to do that.
Yep. So this next video is kind of our 3 tips and tricks on how to play Google games in a free version to start optimizing your listing. It's not a perfect science, so this is why we are kind of giving 3 additional advice. If you've taken the call 5 with us and we've gone over these tips and tricks, or if you're watching this for the first time and you have a Google My Business and you have some tips and tricks that's not spending money but still helps you get optimized, drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear it.
The next video is going to be the 3 things that we recommend you do on a semi-regular or regular basis to continually optimize where your listing shows up on like a ranking system without spending money. So hypothetically, your edit profile is perfect and you're verified. Number 1 way Google is matching this with customers, your business with customers, is reviews. So not only do you want to get reviews, you want to reply to reviews. Like if somebody just left a 5-star review, you want to say thank you, to them. If they left you a 1 heart or a 1-star review and they still didn't say anything, you would still want to follow up and say, we're sorry to hear about your experience. Please reach out to yada, yada, yada. Again, Google just sees that as really trustworthy. That's how they're going to rank you. But also when you're verified, you're going to have this link right here and this button that'll lead to this link. Make sure you take this link everywhere you go. Take out the QR code. This will take people directly to your review. So if I give it a second, it literally pops it up and it allows me to start leaving a review. If you don't share that link, somebody has to go to Google, search your business name, find you on the maps, then scroll down on your listing and hit leave a review. You can imagine if they're going to go to that much trouble, it's probably not going to be a positive review. So definitely use this link. We have found the most success here texting this link out to people who have purchased. Also, just a quick marketing tactic. Don't feel like you have to get reviews only from customers. Even if somebody just comes in and they talk to you about your lot, you can say, hey, would you mind reviewing our customer service or your experience with us today? If they bought a building, obviously say, hey, could you review the purchase of your building or the quality of your building or anything like that? So that's the number 1 way. And then the 2 other ways that we recommend that isn't super, super important to do on a regular basis. But if you haven't gotten a review or been able to respond to a review in a while to keep your profile fresh, we recommend this. Adding photos. So everybody is going to have a logo, which appears here. A cover photo, which will always appear as the first image in your listing. And then a gallery. So we recommend this gallery be refreshed pretty regularly. Don't just dump a bunch of buildings on at once and then leave it, but upload a couple at a time. When somebody is looking through your buildings in your gallery, they are likely to see both the ones that you're posting and then also the ones that customers are posting with reviews. So just kind of like keep that fresh and occasionally trickle in some photos, and then definitely have that cover photo filled out with something that is going to be recognizable for your brand. And then the last thing that we recommend, and again, this is not super, super important, but it is just something that you can do to keep your profile fresh, is post. On here, you'll see any of the posts that you have made, but you can hit add post. These can be a lot like a Facebook profile, but they are not going to be seen like by the algorithm like Facebook does, where they just show up on people's feeds organically. This would be somebody having to go to your profile to actually see it. So you can do an update, an offer, and an event. The events, you only want to do it if that event is being hosted at the address on your Google My Business profile. So if you're going to be at a home and garden show or the Chamber of Commerce dinner or something like that, you wouldn't post an event here because it's going to show up at a different address. The offer, this is a good place just to run sales during the start and run time, update whatever information you can, update an image of that, like a graphic of that sale. But then the update is just a post. You're just typing in the description and then you're adding a photo. Again, super not important, like low priority. But if you haven't gotten a lot of reviews and you don't have any new photos to post or like to just put out there, definitely keep that in mind as just an option to consistently keep your profile active.
So that's our tips and tricks video right there on what we generally go over with that call 5 of setting someone up new on Google My Business. Now, as Bailey was saying earlier, if there is some dealers that, I ain't gonna say disagree, but try something different or do something different that's been doing this longevity, let us know what works for you or what you've seen that hasn't worked before with it that you might have issues with on there. But with that, we'll go over to Abby real quick since you do a lot of these. What do you see on there, something that the dealer would say, hey, why do I need my Google My Business? What would be the one thing that you would tell them for your Google?
What I always like to explain is kind of what you already said. I mean, when people are trying to look up places, I mean, that's where they go first, Facebook and Google. They kind of play hand in hand. So I would say if you're wanting to be found easier, obviously it seems kind of self-explanatory, but that would be the biggest argument I would have.
And where Bailey was talking about keywords, and keywords is a big deal when it comes to that, because it is an algorithm based platform on there that will get you in there, and you've probably Googled yourself or your location many a times and see the hierarchy of who it shows first, not based on locations or something like that. Keywords are a big deal because not everyone, we hear it all the time. We hear it shed to barn to, building to something else like that. You want to be recognizable across all those different types of verbiage that will pop up with someone who is searching for storage, cabin, anything like that. So those keywords do play a big part of those terminologies when you're setting up those keywords there.
Mm-hmm. It's been forever since I've actually looked into this data, but I've always heard that consumer behavior wise, people are more likely to look at a Google My Business, look at that map, find a business that way, rather than clicking on the ads, even though the ads pop up first. So
I will come down to the first 3, and it's the first legit. The first 5 is where I think you want to be. Always want to be on that first page on there if you want to optimize it by reviews or something like that. But you did say something earlier that I did like on that video too. You was talking about if they don't buy from you, you could still ask for reviews for customer service. And honestly, I know a lot of guys or a lot of people that we've talked about with these, y'all do a lot in y'all's community based on sponsoring and stuff like that. Ask that business that you're sponsoring, hey, give us a Google review of how easy we were to work with or something like that. It doesn't all, yes, you want to see customer service, you don't want to fluff your reviews, but the more reviews you have, the better.
I feel like the only gray area there is asking your employees to review being an employee. You don't ever want to ask somebody to review you and pretend to be something that they're not in relation to your business. But giving it to an employee or all your employees, hypothetically, you just set up your Google My Business, you've just gotten verified, you're starting to add pictures and posts, and then you get reviews, but you don't really have anybody coming in, handing out that QR code to every one of your employees, and those are the only things existing out there. I don't think that consumer-wise, that's the best move. Now, algorithm-wise, I'm sure that still feeds the algorithm really well. And I'm not saying don't tell your employees to, but make sure that's mixed in and it's not the only thing you're stuck with.
So speaking of that QR code and that link that you can send out based on 4 reviews on there, what would it be a good idea to have your link in your email when you send out quotes, everything else? I think the more you put it on there, the merrier, but I didn't know if that more times you get, the more swings at it, more people may do it. And yes, you are going, everybody's scared to death. They are going to get a bad review from somebody. But one thing I do like about Google is you can respond. Now, I'm not saying get on there and argue with them, but get on there and address the issue. And if it was resolved, say how it was resolved. We see that a lot just from our corporate page, and our Google's on there. Somebody may be unhappy, but we've resolved that. And because when I buy things online too, I'm going to look at the great reviews. I'm going to go look at the worst reviews to see what the worst possible thing can happen to it too. But if I see somebody's correcting, hey, their customer service is great, I want to do business with them.
Yeah. And the only turn off is if you are responding in a way that I would not.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't get on there and get argued. Yeah. You might get screenshot and be like, can you believe, the Wendy's, I know I've always brought them up in other videos before. They are, I guess, quote unquote, I'm going to say the word savage to some of them on there. They respond in their different way, but it works for them on how they do. But I'm not telling you.
We probably can't be able to.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you to get on there and just go and flame somebody for, leaving a Google review or something like that. But responding to reviews, good and bad, and you said it in that video as well, is a positive point.
And I would say it's probably the number one way both consumers and Google, the algorithm, is prioritizing listings. So,
well, there's lots of ways you can get your link out there, QR codes and stuff. Like I've seen dealers, whenever I was a rep, I've seen dealers actually put their QR code on their desk. And sometimes you can incentivize customers to do that when they're sitting there already buying a building and it's right there. It's a lot easier for them to just go ahead and scan it while they're buying a building. But they also have, I don't know if y'all have noticed yet, but they also have like business cards now that have where you can tap. And literally someone did this to me the other day and I was like, what? That's so cool. So literally you can have a business card and you tap it and then it pulls you up to your Google My Business to be able to leave you a review. So you can do that for Facebook too.
Yeah. And also, if you have multiple lots or salespeople, you can incentivize those salespeople to be like, this month, the person who has the most reviews by name mentioned, or if you have multiple salespeople running multiple lots, putting those lots to kind of pit each other against, that's something really internally you can use, and it's going to boost your brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for reviews. Don't think it'll be awkward if you ask somebody to give you a review right there. You can also say, hey, go home later, and you can fill the review out there. But I'm local. I'm from this area. I'm just trying to get my name out and keep it local and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to ask for it. That you're going to scare them off because you've already got the building sold. Or don't take offense if somebody's like, well, I'll do it, and they never do it, and be like, hey, you didn't give me a review. It's just something else to ask for while you're asking their information and putting in their stuff. Be like, hey, if you got a minute, give us a quick review, and if you do, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's always you got your closing and you got your paperwork and anything else, but I feel like asking for a review is just kind of like a lot of people don't know how to enter that into that conversation to where it's organic, I guess.
That's why if it's on the desk, it's already kind of right there.
I like that idea to it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, our last video here is something that what this whole conversation kind of sparked up a little bit is issues. So there is some issues that we keep coming up one by one, and one of them is the verification of the location. Another one is changing the location on the map may not get it correct as well. This video is going to go over the map, but then we'll talk about the little verification issues and stuff that we've seen. And Bailey and Abby and Logan a little bit, they're the ones that usually troubleshoots the verification issues, but we'll have that conversation when we come back with that.
How to correct your map icon. So we have a lot of dealers who will say, I've typed in my address and everything like that, but people are always getting taken to the wrong side of the road or to the other side of the Tractor Supply or, like whatever. So real quick in Google, if you go to maps.google.com and you were to zoom in, you're going to see all of these markers. Let's say that this is our marker for the headquartered office. Let's say that down here, it's, it's not really this building, it is this building or this building, something like that, where the address gets me in the right vicinity, but not quite. You would want to come down here. You're gonna hit suggest and edit. And then this is where you kind of like go all over the place with what you might need to edit. And then you would say move to a new location or other. Again, you're going to do all this logged in as your Google profile. So then keep an eye on your email, because then a Google rep is going to be reaching out to you to clarify or to notify you of any changes per your request. Quick little tidbit. If you have run into the issue over and over and over again with the verification process, or you've tried to set up this multiple times, like you can see here, the fake one that I set up is right here. What you don't want to do is you don't want to click on this and then hit permanently closed or even temporarily closed, because that's then going to tell Google like, oh, this person is constantly like opening businesses and closing them down and yada, yada, yada. What you want to do is remove business completely. And that is just, you'll see everything here. It's going to remove the business. This is something that they say if a business is closed, you first mark it permanently closed before removing it, but then sometimes you lose access. So if it is something that you accidentally set up or it's something that you can never get verified, our recommendation would just be to permanently remove it, not or like remove listing, not mark it as closed first. So we're going to do that. Okay, and then the verification video. We want to dive into that more so in the Q&A, but just in case, let's come over here to Google My Business video verification. And we're just going to kind of walk through that. This is everything that it wants on it. I guarantee you cannot do all of this in just 30 seconds. That shouldn't be an issue. You are going to want to record and upload from a mobile device. So this is something that when you're on your phone or your tablet, go to Google, log into your Google account, search Google My Business, log into your Google My Business. You'll already be logged in, and then hit get verified from that device so that you can move around, because you are going to have to include a lot of information. Ironically, it says your video must not include bank account, tax, or ID numbers, private info about you or others, or other people's faces, but there are going to be a lot of personal questions, and then potentially even after the verification process, they're going to ask for some information like this. So you want to show your business location. This is not just like, look, I'm here. This is like trying to get street signs or roads or, like anything like that in the photo or video, other businesses located around you, stuff like that. You are going to want to show a storefront for you guys. You should be able to show off the inventory you have, but also this business signage is a big one that they're looking for. And then you want to show proof of management, that it's not just like a random person that walked up on this lot and started like doing it. You need to, I've seen people before like unlock the door, open the cash register, kind of like walk in and then sit behind the desk, and just, this is really kind of ambiguous, but it needs to see that you're not just a customer walking on the lot. And then because you are a storefront and hybrid, like that should be what you have to follow. So just make sure that if you've selected service area business as how you run your business and not a storefront, that should be when you're setting up a checkbox. So if you've set up storefront and service area, this, you're hybrid. This is what you're following. But if you said you were only a service area business, then you're going to run into issues because it's going to ask you for different things to show that your business exists, that you manage it, and then it's going to hold you to like different standards. So then this is everything that you would be kind of going through in a step-by-step basis that I kind of just walked through. This wait for review, it says can take up to 5 business days. I would honestly stretch that to about 7. And then again, you should be hearing all of this via your email that you submitted it in. So if they did not, accept it, everything like that, you can always submit another one. And you can also submit appeals, anything like that. There's also, I've ran into multiple dealers who have started a dialogue with that Google rep via email, and they have requested things. Those dialogues are very, very scripted. This person cannot actually get you verified. They can just stick to their policy and procedure. So it can be really, really frustrating. Stick it out. I know you guys can do it. And again, eventually, if you just get fed up and kind of in a loop over and over again, go ahead, permanently remove it, and then start all over. I know it's frustrating, but this is something that we're seeing Google move to, and we do want to open up conversations in the Q&A portion of this video to, or of this panel, to kind of address those issues.
Okay, perfect. So that one's, like I said before we went away for the video, that's going to show some kind of the issues that we keep seeing on there. And I think one of the comments that we're seeing on there that Abby's going to address is from Chad about the 1 star with no comments. How would you address that, Abby?
I mean, personally, what I would say is probably I would comment on there and say, I'm so sorry for this experience. Please reach out to us so we can know what experience you're referring to, something along those lines. I think is kind of the best way you could say something like that. So that way you're not like calling it out for maybe being a competitor.
Yeah.
Or you're not like calling them a liar, but also people will go on there and see that 1 star and they'll see your response. They'll see that 1 star with no comment. Yeah. And then they'll see your response and be like, oh, okay, like they're at least responding to this and they have no clue what this 1 star is about. So that kind of explains it without being ugly.
It gives you the opportunity, if anybody, a 5-star review, 3-star review, a 1-star review with no actual review attached to it allows you to, like, in the court of public opinion, look better.
Yeah,
Sure. Public
absolutely.
opinion.
I mean, that really is.
No,
what
it's
reviews
true.
are.
Yes.
If somebody said that and I like truly don't recognize it, first off, I think a lot of people are buying our buildings and then they're using that QR code and they're logged into a different Google account than they thought they were. I know I do that all the time because I have Stor-Mor's Google account, I've got my mom's Google account, I've got, and then I have my own. And sometimes I will leave Google reviews as my mom and not as me, and that business knows me, but they have no idea. Like, we don't even have the same last name, stuff like that. So go into that with like kind of the humility of like, maybe they aren't lying. But then if you do recognize it, we were just talking about this kind of like during the break. If like, who it is and they don't have any sort of experience with you other than just kind of being a troll. I think personally that is the time to like shout out your business, like fundamentals. So like I would say something like, especially like if it's a competitor, I would like respond to like, at Stor-Mor Portable Buildings, we strive to have the best quality, best customer service, and to leave every customer with a 5-star experience. Sorry to hear about your 1-star experience. And you're kind of winking because you're like, you didn't have a 1-star experience. That's just your opinion of me.
Yeah, if you had a 1-star experience with them, you're going to remember their name.
Comment.
Yeah, well, you're going to remember their name as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then, saying something like that, and I would always leave like a public email. So like at Stor-Mor, we have info@stormor.com. We almost always respond to those, but please reach out at info@stormor.com to tell us more about your experience and how we can better reconcile it, something like that. And again, they're probably, if it's a hoax, they're not going to reach out. And but what you have just done is you showed everybody else, I try to make things right, and I try to, even though that it's a fake experience.
And people like will have 1-star reviews because they have a problem and they've never brought it back up with you before, and them leaving that 1-star may be able to fix it, and they can go in and change it and be like, oh, 5-star, on there. But so people just do that and not reach out to people anymore for any issues that they may have.
Jeremy Cohen just broke into the chat and said, "This is what I did the other day." He said, "I'm sorry you had a horrible experience. Would you care to describe how we missed the mark so I can work on it? I care deeply that customers have a wonderful experience with us." That's a great response. I would say, like, literally the only thing I would do different is instead of asking them an open-ended question where it would go on the thread, try to take the thread into a private email. But at the same time, like,
but if they never respond back to that, then that shows everybody else that they did not.
Or if they do and they turn out to just be a troll, and like you continue to handle yourself, Jeremy, the way that you're saying it, great example.
It does show a lot of your customers that you're seeing that you're tactfully handling.
And if they work with one of your salespeople, if you have people, tell them you're the owner. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, I've got the owner. Oh my God, let me change the tune." I didn't know they were gonna, someone that high up is actually asking me questions about what we could have done better. And people will do what people do and tell you what they think you should do better, and be like, "Yeah, that's not accommodatable, or it is."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Again, it allows you to have a kind of like a open forum to show people how you resolve issues. So that is, in my opinion, why all reviews are good reviews, because you have the opportunity to.
What's the saying? All press is good press.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same forte there.
Yep.
Now, Bailey, verification.
Yeah, this is where we really wanted to dive in for this panel. Really to make sure that you guys all know we're aware that you guys are running into issues. And
we can't go on the back end and make Google verify.
We can't fix it, but we can do whatever we can to support you to help with that. So in the last, we've been doing call 5s for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
And before that, Stor-Mor was already coming out with some Google My Business tips, tricks, handouts, stuff like that. So we've been in this game helping dealers get set up on Google My Business for, I would say, we could confidently say 3 years. In those 3 years' time, I personally have seen Google just really, I don't know, like police Google My Business listings for the first time over the last probably about 6 months. So when I first started with Google My Business and helping y'all out with that, it was a postcard verification. So you had to have like a mailing address. Like your lot had to be able to receive mail. And so I know a lot of you guys ran into issues where you're like, I'm on this side of the interstate. I don't have a mailbox, whatever. And so that didn't work for you. Then Google introduced the texting. Like it would text you a verification code you would type right in. I just think a lot of people abuse that system. Not you guys, I'm saying. I'm just like people starting businesses, because when you sign it up, we kind of went over this. You can do a service-based business. So like you type in your address, but it doesn't really show up on maps, but you get to like show where you could service it. You have a storefront, and then you have like a hybrid where it kind of like services both. And I think a lot of people, especially like during COVID and stuff like that, probably set up service-based businesses to try to get found, and they were using the texting verification to get verified. And Google just had to like put an end to it. So that sometimes when I'm setting up Google My Business with dealers, I do sometimes see as we're doing the setup process, it's like, get verified, we'll text you. And like they get a text, they type it in, it says you're verified. I hardly ever see that stick. Do you see it different?
I mean, I would say it's like, for me, it's kind of 50-50, because before that stuck very well, but recently I definitely see it's not sticking as well. But I also see that it's not sticking because if they don't have all their stuff filled out. So like a lot of times when we're on the Google call, we will say like your description and all that stuff, and they'll fill it out after the fact. And so I try to explain, when you're trying to get verified that way, make sure you have all that stuff filled out first. Because I do feel like whenever you're going back let's say you get a customer and you forget to go back right then I feel like that's also flagging the verification because your information's not completely filled out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So now, over the last 6 months, and I mean, it was a verification option beforehand, but like we literally would be like, oh, try to avoid having to do the video verification.
Yeah.
Just because it's so nitpicky. It is so like long. I mean, so like
Tedious.
I know we have like a lot of people, like we recommend doing call 5 on a laptop where we can like do that. But then it's like, hey, get a video verification, and like now you have to do it on your phone. So like, and while we're doing that call 5, like we can't get you video verified on that call. Plus it's gonna walk you through everything at once, but then like you'll submit it, and I know I'm watching the dealers who show up here.
Yeah.
I know some of you guys have literally like gotten into it, and then you've submitted it, and then 2 weeks later they've been like, we also need this, and this. So like it's frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've always said the video verification, the positive is like once you get verified via that video, it's really hard for people to
Not say you're a legit business.
to spam you, to troll you, to say you're not. Now, if you do the video verification and then you kind of sabotage your listing, that can cause issues. But it's really hard for me to do the verification for my business and then John to have beef with me and then all of a sudden like go to Google and like report me or say that like he's the actual owner of my business. You know, just like all these things that we do see competitors do. So the video verification, that's the positive. The negative is how difficult it is. And then even then, I'm reading through your guys' comments, and I just know from experience with Juan, like it's not a foolproof way to get verified.
Right.
So, what have we done to troubleshoot? Where do we normally start when somebody for the first time is like, I did my video verification and I'm still not verified? There's one question I almost immediately ask.
I imagine I know this question, but you deal with it more than I do.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, have you contacted Google's reps?
Do you have an open line of communications? My first question is always, how recently did you submit the verification video? Because again, with the frustration, it can take like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but say they don't, I'm not going to say they make it a priority, but they may have that many they go through, but it's going to feel like it's not a priority on your end. And you'll get
if
frustrated
you read
with
all the Google articles from Google about the Google verification, about all Google rules, they'll say, we'll get back to you within 5 business days. And I really haven't seen dealers get Google verified back in 5 days with the videos. Like most of the time, which I know I'm hearing the issues you guys are having.
Right.
But I normally say, I said it in the video, like at least give it like 7 business days.
But say, and you can't get them on the phone, from my understanding, correct?
If somebody does, please drop it.
Yeah. Somebody has a back phone number,
Yeah,
you can
true.
call them, bug them. Because
Yeah.
that same way, those big businesses like that, they call you, you can't call them.
Yeah, but you can open a thread once you get de-verified or restricted, whatever. It'll say like, oh, these are like, you're not verified. These are the additional forms we still need. Or sometimes it just says like, you're not verified. You know, like if there's not a lot. Through like start to open a thread, and that article that I had pulled up about verification, actually at the bottom of it, so like a business.google help article, there are a lot of buttons that's like chat with us. It's not really a chat, it's opening an email thread. We definitely recommend opening that email thread, but like I mentioned in the video, the people that you're actually going to speak with in that thread can't actually do the verification for you. Like they can't.
So who you're getting for your assistant can't go and pull your account and say, hey, verify me now.
Yeah. So working that angle of like, okay, well then you need these additional files or you need this additional proof, whatever that might be, submitting it to it, like submitting that through that thread should hypothetically get you. I would say if you work like a consistent communication for an additional 5 business days, you'll notice you'll get into a loop. Those reps that are working for Google, they literally have a script that they can go off of. Mm-hmm. So if they have requested something that they've already requested before, you've already sent over, I would say you're probably in a loop and it's not going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. On that,
what would be the second thing you would do?
Recommendation is to essentially start from scratch.
Yeah.
So I kind of went over. Yeah, go ahead.
Why would one get verified and the other wouldn't get verified that you're doing the same steps?
I think it is a little bit of
Ball drop? I mean, from
no.
their end, or-
I think it is looking at both me as a Gmail user. It's looking at the businesses who are already verified around me, and then the businesses that I can't even see that are trying to get verified around me.
Gotcha.
So I think it's kind of like a threefold approach that the algorithm has access to that you might not have. I will say, I cannot prove this, but if you can set it up from a Gmail account that you have had for a really long time, and then transfer ownership after you're verified, I just feel like that would maybe give Google a little bit more trust in you.
More seasoned with Google.
Whereas, like, if you're a brand new business and you've created a Gmail account, even like you bought a domain, everything like that. That's the other thing. Like, if you open a Gmail account for your business, it's like Stor-Mor Portable Buildings at gmail.com versus being, info at Stor-Mor Portable Buildings, which is a Gmail domain that you purchased. I feel like it wants to do that because, again, you've already spent money with them.
Right.
It's a trusting game.
Well, I was about to say, how quick could somebody make email and then try to make a business to go scam somebody and then shut it down? All within 6 months. So longevity, I could see holding.
I think Google saw a lot of spam over the last 3 years, and they are figuring out a way to really enforce. You have to be an authentic business to have one of these, but at the same time, it is penalizing legitimate, authentic buildings.
I wonder. So
buildings because the dealers.
On the video, does Google give you anywhere a list or a rundown? I've never done one, so I don't know of what they all want to see in the video. Why couldn't you submit your business license in there and be like, hey, I'm a verified business in this county or state of where I'm saying I'm at?
Yeah, so that article I shared in the video does go through that. And I ironically highlighted a couple of things because I was like, it tells you literally do not put this in the video.
Yeah.
And then when it says you're unverified, I'm looking at some of you guys in the comments and I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. And the Google it's back and they're like, you're not, approved. And so then you are opening that dialogue just like we recommend. And you're like, well, what do you need? And they're like, submit all these things we told you not to submit. I've had one dealer have such an issue with this that they needed a utility bill with their business name in it, but they were renters who, went through their landlord for their utilities and stuff. So, and again, they told this Google rep that the Google rep was just like, okay, I need a utility bill with your business. I mean, they literally just kind of repeat themselves.
Be like,
I'm so sorry you're experiencing this, yada, yada, yada.
Why am I going to go through all these stages if I'm not a legit business on your service or on your service?
So that's when we do recommend the not permanently closing, but the removing of your business. And then honestly, I would wait a second. And then restart it.
Yeah.
And if you can restart it from a different Gmail account that's been longer established, awesome. I do think that goes a little bit into what the algorithm's looking at. But then also there's benefit of saying hey, I tried this, I'm trying it again. This is how persevering I'm going to be. I think that does go a long way too. But it's not like they're going to let you pay to get verified, which is different than most social media platforms. So it would not surprise me if in the next year Google allows you to pay to get the official verification.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about one way or another. Like paying, everybody can pay for it, and if you quit paying it, but if you go through this verification, you're verified for Google, and they keep you verified. Google does a lot of great back end stuff for it. Whether it be like a premium subscribe Google Bit My Business or something like that. But I don't like the idea of being able to pay for it and then get it. Which I'm not the one. If I were having all the issues of here, give my $100 or whatever to be verified on Google, then I'd probably do it too.
Yeah. The other thing too is if you sell multiple products, under.
Would our portable buildings be multiple products?
Well, no. I'm saying like portable buildings is one, and then like you're also a U-Haul dealer, or you're also a you sell trailers or carports or something. If those are all happening in the same address, don't open up multiple.
No.
If you do, Google's 100% going to start not only like not letting you get verified with the other ones, but it's going to start penalizing the ones that aren't verified. If you, so like our headquarters, we're in the Regions Bank, which we got verified forever ago. So if you go to Mayfield, Kentucky, and you zoom in to like our address, like Stor-Mor Portable Building shows up, there's other businesses there as well who aren't showing up on maps, but like would show up on Google or anything like that. If you share an address, I really recommend making sure your actual like 911 response address is there, which would look like Suite A, Suite B, you know, like room 1, floor 3, you know, stuff like that. It does get really like finicky, but again, that's just showing Google that like don't take into account these other businesses. I'm different. Like I'm not the same. And again, I do think like sometimes Google knows that, and that's why I can kind of confidently say I think they look at the user setting up the account as well, which we've all seen it on Facebook. If you are restricted on Facebook via your personal profile and you go to create a page, it's going to bleed in, and Facebook knows that. I think Google is trying to be as proactive with those like scammy stuff with information that they already know, which is unfortunately penalizing some. Because then you also still run into the issue where competitors can still report you, troll you, you know, like restrict you, anything like that. So
Final thoughts?
we have one quick question.
Okay.
We are very new and we're wondering what has benefited you the most at the start to get business.
As in, like, what for Google or for different, just something social media in general?
I would say like generalized. I'm gonna plug our calls. Anything that we go over in our calls for the first 5 calls, that's where it starts. We really build the calls based off of like what you need to know. It's a foundational based call. So like Google My Business is fantastic to get people in the door and stuff. But if once you have them in the door, you don't know how to make a sale. Let's start there.
Yep. I'm going to say confidence and consistency are probably going to be the 2 biggest ones that I keep referring back to. Confident in your product, confident in that you can sell them the product, and consistency across doing all the paperwork correctly to make it easiest for you and the customer. It's probably going to be one of the biggest parts of success, because you can get many people in the door, but if you can't get them sold on a product, that's going to frustrate you highly.
Yeah. Take the time to go over your dealer binder, your warranties, know what you're talking about, because I mean, there's so many competitors all over the place. And so ultimately, if they go into your office and then they go into someone else's office and that someone else knows more about what they're selling and believes in what they're selling and has that confidence and you didn't take the time to actually like learn up on it and get all the knowledge that you possibly can, it's going to show a lot more. And I always like to tell dealers this as well. I mean, because this industry is so saturated, like it's crazy. Because it's so saturated, you need to be like, you're selling yourself ultimately. So you want them to remember you. Because when they go into all these different places, all these barns for these people who don't do this on a day-to-day basis, they just look like a barn. They just look like 4 walls. So it's like, why would they buy from you versus buying from somebody else? And you have to keep that in the back of your mind. Be personable, comment on their clothing, comment on their whatever, their pets, ask them questions, like be personable with them, and don't be afraid to kind of like let your personality out a little bit. And because at the end of the day, it really comes down to their experience. And if they don't have a great experience, they're gonna walk somewhere else, because ultimately
And they're gonna tell somebody.
Yeah, they're gonna tell somebody. And so ultimately at the end of the day, like you want them to remember you, and the more upbeat and personable you are, they're gonna remember you versus somebody else is just sitting there like, oh, I don't know.
People buy from people they like.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see it all the time.
Be likable, joke around.
Yeah.
That was my motto always.
I would say to like get started as a business, use what you're already using in your personal life. So like,
Yeah.
what's your personal brand? Do you have a Facebook like profile? Are you a regular member of your chamber of commerce? And like do the things that you're already doing, and then
Build
lead
upon it.
that into
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
But that is actually like a really, really good topic for John's webinar. So,
It's a hard question because there's many multiple answers depending on who you ask them what they do.
Yeah.
You're going to get
but this is a good time to
everyone's
talk
good.
about it, because we basically just told you like, hey, get Google My Business. This is how awesome it is, and this is how like troublesome it has
Yeah.
been for all of you guys. So the question of basically, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally valid.
100%.
Totally valid though to have and be like, okay, I'm a brand new business. I've got a lot of like things to juggle right now. Is this worth the hassle right now? Let's bring that up in John's webinar on, do you remember the
The
date?
21st.
The 21st
Look
at
at you.
10 a.m. So yeah, if you guys can tune into Big John's closing calls, the way that we're going to try to do it this year is the panel will be toward the beginning of the month, hence today is the 7th, and then the webinar will be at the end of the month. So you'll kind of be able to have the panel to watch live or to like catch up before John's webinar, and that will be kind of the open forum. We're going to talk about the panel for the webinar. They'll have some canned questions, but like questions like this, we want to hear from you guys as well.
Yeah.
We don't just want to talk to you guys and like say like, nope, this is what we think and this is what works and this is what you should do. You guys also are a great pool of
They're
expertise.
boots on the ground. They're
That's
sitting
what's like.
there.
They're
boots
doing
on the ground. They're
doing it
every
in
day.
and day out.
Yeah.
Like I said, we get to talk, and I think that's the biggest thing is we get to talk all to all of y'all, but y'all don't get to talk to each other. So you're
Right.
taking what we say, but we learn from y'all too,
Right,
and
absolutely.
this is point
all
A to
team.
point A contact right here
Yep.
on those closing calls, which I like and y'all like as well. So
And then there won't necessarily be a formal February panel like this
why is that?
because the summit is coming up.
Correct.
So
Housekeeping.
yes, housekeeping first for the summit. So we will obviously be shouting out and really promoting the summit at John's webinar on the 21st. However, before the 21st, the deadline to book your rooms is upon us.
Yes.
Monday. If you have RSVP, so I'm going to try to like break down the terminology. You all RSVP to Stor-Mor by filling out that form and saying, I would like to go. I'm aware of the dates and here are the people I'd like to bring with me. Like back in October, if you filled out that RSVP form, you have individually received it's called the head count email. This is where you're signing up for the sessions, but then also booking your rooms. And when I say booking your rooms, Stor-Mor is still going to cover the night of the 4th and the night of the 5th.
Right.
Did I say those dates right?
Yes.
Yes. So you guys are coming in Wednesday the 4th, and then we'll have like a meet and greet and stuff like that on the 4th. That night you will stay at the hotel. Stor-Mor is covering that. The next day we have sessions, keynote speakers. Actually, I have the email pulled up. So our keynote speakers are Brent Reeves. Who's Brent Reeves, John?
Brent Reeves is someone that we've partnered with the Meat Eater brand. I know you've seen on there, but he hosts his Country Life podcast from the Stor-Mor studio. There's a cabin that we partnered with him there to do his podcast with. I'm actually really excited to be able to meet him and hear him speak as well.
Yeah, that'd be
he's
great.
a great storyteller. He's a part of the Meat Eater brand who is partnered with the Stor-Mor brand. So really excited to like see him in person and also get to interact with him. And then we have a keynote speaker. His name is Carlos Whitaker, and he is going to be able to keynote. He is talking about his expertise and this is what he does. He's a motivational speaker. He has some really, really awesome professional topics, and hopefully can like help you all build up your own personal life, but also your business brand as well. Again, just like, Google him, check him out. He's really, really cool. But then then you guys will go to like lunch and everything. And then we have sessions. So right now in that email that you've got that we need to, the headcount email to be able to get your sessions and everything, we have like just a brief like explanation of the 6 sessions available. You guys are in 2 different sessions. You want to
Correct.
plug your sessions and get those in.
Mine will be
before I
better.
talk about-
It may be.
Yeah.
It may be. It may be. I'm not saying it won't be,
I'm
but mine could be pretty good.
I'm kidding.
So over the past year, talking with all y'all, we've heard a lot of people over general sales. I know that's kind of can run the mill, but we can be able to talk about it based on portable buildings and kind of the whole platform from start to finish to follow up. So me and one of the reps, we've said who's going to be in the sessions yet. So has that been
I
announced?
don't think
Oh,
so.
that's it.
Not your rep.
I got you. Me and one of the reps.
You could
Great.
spoil it.
It's gonna be me and Matt Fleener. We're gonna be doing shout out Matt. He's down there in South Texas. But we're gonna be doing general sales and follow up based on online leads, but general sales knowledge in general. Some people, and y'all don't see it as much as we do, but you've maybe been selling barns for the last 10 years and you think you know everything. That's great. You probably do know everything. But there is people who start from selling barns who may have been another business venture that it is their first day selling. So they may not have the nuances and tips and tricks of where, that's a buying question I need to hone in, or when do I need to follow up. One of my big emphasis is we've talked about this here in the last couple of months with me and some dealer, is asking for the sale. We quote to death, but we never ask for the sale. But we'll get to talk about more about that in February.
Yep. And then Abby, what's your session?
We mostly are going over like marketing, and I'll have like Caitlin and some other people who know way more than me. So that's why it's going to be the better session, because they know more than I do.
What was it about?
It's
Caitlin's all I heard.
exactly that's all that matters. No, it's mostly going to go over like Facebook and marketing stuff. Just kind of how you guys can better market your businesses, and being consistent, honestly, is the biggest key for that as well. But so we'll go into more detail over that. You'll be able to ask a lot of us questions who are there, and hopefully that'll help set you up better for success.
I'm excited for these. I really am.
Yeah.
And then the other 4 sessions available are content creation, which is going to be Canva and CapCut. And it is everybody who's behind the camera right now. So you guys will get the Stor-Mor experts in all the content that you see created. They will help you create like content. We'll also have a product one-on-one option. So that's going to be Kevin, Chavaria, and everybody who works with our shop.
That'll be good.
They are going to cover some things that are, this is our building and stuff like that. But they also are very open to a Q&A where if you're like, how do I set our buildings apart from competitors?
Right.
These are the people to ask when you're asking those structural engineer questions.
General product knowledge is a huge thing.
We will have Heartland Capital Investments there for another session for a rent-to-own Q&A. This can be everything from how do I sell rent-to-own, and then where's the rent-to-own industry heading. And then lastly, we have a sales screen Q&A, which sales screen is the competitions that we run on a regular basis. Right now, there's a select amount of dealers in that platform regularly competing in competitions. And we just kind of want to hear the dealers who are in it feedback, and the dealers who aren't in it. We want to hear what you would want out of the platform moving forward, because we are still building those out in phases. So what we're needing, maybe that was more just the promotion of it. But by Monday, if you've already RSVP'd, you need to do the headcount video or the headcount form and book your rooms. If you RSVP'd, we have emailed that to you to the email that you submitted on the RSVP form. And then also we had Emily in our dealer support office yesterday text everybody who has RSVP'd but who hasn't booked their room yet. So if you think you've RSVP'd and you can't find that email, or you haven't booked your rooms for whatever reason, go to the Stor-Mor website and go ahead. It says text us in the bottom. Go ahead and start a text thread there. We'll give that over to Emily, and then Emily can kind of check that out and make sure that you can get your rooms booked. One other housekeeping thing about the rooms booked, it is going to ask you to put in your credit card information. You're not going to get charged or anything like that. That is if you violate the cancellation policy after the fact, or if you want to stay extra nights, or if you, damage the room or charge extra things through, not the things that you guys would not do.
I've heard a lot of dealers saying that they're going to try to stay the extra night and hang out on the weekend over
Yeah,
in Nashville.
yeah.
It's a great city if you've never been.
Yeah, we all love Nashville. So find that email. It went out to everybody who has RSVP'd yesterday morning that says 1 week to book your room. So if you can go into your email, it was sent from info@stormor.com, but honestly, we send a lot of things from info@stormor.com.
Yeah.
So go in those inboxes, spam, promotions, social, check all of your inboxes, and search 1 week. We've sent it out at 2 months until, 1 month until, and then 1 week to book your room. So search those kind of keywords. And if you still can't find it, again, go to stormor.com and go ahead and start texting us and we will get you found. If you haven't RSVP'd back in October and you're like, no, I'm not going to be able to make it. Now we're kind of, more excited about it and you are ready to go. You can still RSVP. You have to RSVP first for us to be able to send you the email to book your room. So RSVP first. If you haven't done that, again, text us. We will get you that RSVP form. Or I believe Molly posted it on the Facebook page, the Facebook dealer group, just the other day. So go back to that and fill out the RSVP form first, and we will get you added. Great question. There is 6 sessions, but you guys will only be able to attend 4. So you'll sign up for the 4 that you want to attend. We'll make your agenda, everything like that. This is a great opportunity if you're bringing salespeople or spouses or, divide and conquer and get into all 6 sessions for sure. Okay, so that's everything I have on I cannot stress the cinema by Monday.
By Monday.
That link is going to close, so make sure you book your room by Monday. Again, Stor-Mor will also comp those 2 nights, but just make sure that you are booking your room so that we know you are coming.
Right.
Please do not neglect this and then show up in February. I'm going to feel so bad if somebody shows up in February, but they didn't actually book their room. So, text us if you have any questions. That allows us to just open up a dialogue and really look into what email did we send it to, when did we send it to, helping you find it, and then resending it to you if necessary. Just because those are individually triggered, we can't just mass resend to everybody, so we do have to do that on a one-off basis. Okay,
Perfect.
that's the summit,
It's gonna be
everybody.
great.
It is going to be
We're
great.
excited.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't have.
Last thing you said, webinar 21st, closing call with me. That's the only other
Yeah. After the
announcement.
summit, we will probably have a panel-like thing, but it'll be recapping the panel, so nothing to study
Yeah.
for the next panel coming up.
And a lot of y'all videos may be in there if you're there.
Yeah. So we hope you guys can join us for the summit. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, I appreciate you joining us today. And like always, if you have any other questions, you can reach out up to dealer support and we'll be able to help you. And if you want to sign up for Call 5, if you want a refresher with Abby or any of them, go to your dealer resource center and sign up for the additional training.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Call 5 can be a troubleshooting. If you're having an issue with
for sure.
verification and everything, we can get in there one-on-one and walk you through the steps that we walked through today, but in a personalized, individualized basis.
Yep. Let us know how we can help.
Thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. We'll let you have your day back now.